I remember the day I arrived, excited, a little scared, suitcase in hand. The bus doors opened with a hiss, and I stepped out into a world that felt both familiar and completely new. The air was crisp, carrying a hint of wild grass and distant rain. My heart pounded with anticipation, wondering what stories this land would hold for me. The map I carried didn't show the wind's touch, the scent of rain-soaked earth, or the warmth in a stranger's smile. It couldn't capture the way the prairie grass danced in the breeze, or how the horizon seemed to stretch on forever. Every step I took, I realized there was so much more to discover than any guidebook could ever tell me. I came to the Canadian Prairies, searching for a new beginning. I was drawn by the promise of open spaces, and the hope of finding a place to call my own. As the bus rolled through endless fields, I watched the landscape unfold, feeling both small and free in this vast expanse. The first thing that struck me was the sky, endless, blue, and breathtaking. It was as if the heavens had opened up, inviting me to dream bigger than I ever had before. The clouds drifted lazily, painting ever-changing pictures above the fields. Fields of gold and green stretched forever, so different from the crowded cities I'd known. The land seemed to glow in the sunlight, and every breeze carried the promise of something new. I felt a sense of peace I hadn't known in years, as if the prairies themselves were welcoming me. At first, the flatness felt empty, but I soon realized the land was alive with stories and history. Every old farmhouse, every weathered fence post seemed to whisper tales of those who came before me. The prairies held secrets, of resilience, of hope, of communities built from the ground up. My journey would cross Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, each with its own character. From the gentle hills of Manitoba to the wide-open spaces of Saskatchewan and the rolling fields of Alberta, every province offered a new chapter in my adventure. I was eager to learn. What did people value? How did they live? I found myself drawn to small-town cafes and local gatherings, where stories were shared over coffee and laughter echoed across the room. The sense of community was strong, and I wanted to be a part of it. The sense of adventure was real. I felt something wonderful was about to happen. Each sunrise brought new possibilities, and every road seemed to lead to a place I'd never been. I was ready to embrace whatever the prairies had in store for me. This is my story of discovery, a search for belonging in a place that once felt foreign. I spent quiet moments reflecting, journaling my thoughts as I walked along country roads, letting the vastness of the land fill me with hope and curiosity. It's about community, fresh starts, and the beauty you find when you truly look. I learned that the prairies are more than just a landscape. They're a way of life, shaped by the people who call them home. So come with me, let's explore the prairies together. Let's walk these trails, meet the people, and uncover the stories that make this place unique. Let's see what makes this part of Canada so special. The prairies are waiting, full of wonder, and I can't wait to share their magic with you. My prairie adventure began in Manitoba, a province that constantly surprised me with its diversity and depth. From the moment I arrived, I realized that Manitoba was so much more than the flat, endless fields I'd imagined from afar. I expected to see nothing but golden wheat fields stretching to the horizon, but instead, I discovered a land dotted with over 100,000 lakes and winding rivers. Water and earth blend together here, creating a landscape that's both rich and unexpected. As I traveled, the scenery shifted before my eyes, from open farmland to sparkling blue lakes, and then to deep, mysterious forests. It was a vivid reminder that the prairies are a living tapestry, woven from many different threads, not just a single stereotype. In the heart of rural towns, I found a strong sense of community and a slower, more intentional pace of life. Neighbors greeted each other by name, and local events brought everyone together, creating bonds that felt both old and new. Grain elevators rose above the fields, standing as proud symbols of Manitoba's agricultural roots and the generations of hard work that built this province. But Manitoba's story doesn't end with agriculture. I discovered vibrant francophone communities like St. Boniface, where French language and culture thrive, adding a unique flavor to the province's identity. In Winnipeg, the province's capital, the energy was unmistakable. The city buzzed with opportunity. Transportation, finance, technology, and the arts all converged here, making it a hub for innovation and creativity. Manitoba's economy is as diverse as its people, offering hope and possibility for newcomers from all walks of life. Whether you're seeking a fresh start or building on old dreams, there's a place for you here. But what truly defines Manitoba is its people, a welcoming spirit shaped by generations of newcomers, each adding their own story to the province's ever-evolving mosaic. Festivals like Folklorama and the Icelandic Festival bring this cultural richness to life, celebrating the traditions, music, and food of dozens of communities from around the world. Everywhere I went, people were curious about my story and eager to share their own. Conversations flowed easily, and I felt a genuine interest in building connections. I didn't feel like a visitor. I felt like I could belong. The warmth and openness of Manitobans made it easy to imagine building a life here, surrounded by support and friendship. Manitoba showed me that the prairies are a place of real potential, where dreams can take root and grow, no matter where you come from. Here, diversity and community go hand in hand, creating a place where everyone can find their own piece of home on the prairies. To understand Manitoba, you have to visit Winnipeg. The Forks, where the Red and Assiniboine rivers meet, has been a gathering place for over 6,000 years. Walking the river paths, you feel the weight of history and the energy of today's diverse crowds. The market buzzes with global foods, crafts, and music. In winter, the river becomes a skating trail. The Canadian Museum for Human Rights stands as a symbol of hope and shared responsibility. Winnipeg's neighborhoods each have their own charm. The historic Exchange District, lively Osborne Village, and the French Quarter, St. Boniface. The city is alive with arts, music, and theater. What I found was a city proud of its roots, Indigenous heritage, pioneering spirit, and multiculturalism. People are down to earth, resilient, and genuinely warm. Winnipeg taught me that prairie cities have heart too. Here, you can find opportunity, community, and a sense of belonging. In Saskatchewan, the sky somehow got even bigger. The land of living skies is a place where sunsets paint the horizon in brilliant colors. The landscape is classic prairie, rolling fields of wheat and canola, stretching endlessly. Life here moves with the seasons, tied to planting and harvest. This connection to the land shapes the people, resilient, practical, and deeply appreciative of nature. Regina, the capital, feels distinguished and proud, anchored by its legislature and the RCMP Heritage Center. Saskatoon, the city of bridges, is energetic, with a beautiful river valley and a thriving art scene. Both cities offer unique urban experiences in the heart of the plains. The peace and simplicity of the countryside is profound. Saskatchewan's spirit is found in its open spaces and its welcoming communities. Here, the sky is not just above you, it's part of who you are. The land and its people are inseparable. Saskatchewan's story is rooted in ancient Indigenous history and agricultural strength. At Wanuskewin Heritage Park, I walked trails where Indigenous peoples gathered for millennia. The land itself tells stories: buffalo jumps, tippy rings, and medicine wheels. Saskatchewan is a global farming powerhouse. The family farm is a symbol of hard work and resilience. I met Fransasquois, French-speaking communities keeping their culture alive in towns like Gravelbourg. Each layer adds to the prairie mosaic. What I found was peace, warmth, and a genuine sense of community. People here look out for one another. Under the vast skies, Saskatchewan's heart is as golden as its wheat. Entering Alberta, the landscape transformed dramatically, as if the very earth was shifting beneath my feet. The endless golden plains that had stretched for miles behind me began to ripple and change, hinting at the wonders that lay ahead. The eastern grasslands, with their gentle waves of wheat and wildflowers, soon gave way to the surreal, almost otherworldly badlands of Drumheller. Here, the land is carved by wind and water into dramatic canyons and hoodoos, revealing layers of ancient history in every exposed rock. Then, almost without warning, the horizon erupts with the sudden rise of the Rocky Mountains, majestic peaks that seem to touch the sky, their snow-capped summits standing guard over the province. Alberta's Indigenous history is powerful and ever-present. Sites like Head-Smashed-In Buffalo Jump tell stories of ingenuity, survival, and deep connection to the land that go back thousands of years. At Writing on Stone, ancient petroglyphs etched into sandstone cliffs connect you to traditions and beliefs that have shaped this region for generations, inviting you to pause and reflect on the people who came before. The Rockies are world-famous for their breathtaking beauty. Turquoise lakes like Moraine and Louise shimmer beneath towering peaks, their colors shifting with the light and the seasons. Glaciers carve their way through valleys, and wildlife roams freely. Elk, bears, and mountain goats are just a few of the creatures that call Banff and Jasper National Parks home. These parks are not just tourist destinations. They're places of adventure and discovery, where visitors from around the world come to hike, explore, and marvel at nature's grandeur. For Albertans, these wild spaces are cherished backyards, places to gather with family, picnic by a mountain stream, or simply breathe in the fresh alpine air. Alberta's francophone communities in places like Beaumont bring a vibrant French spirit to the prairies, celebrating their heritage through language, food, and lively festivals. In St. Albert, French heritage is woven into the very fabric of the town, from its historic downtown to its architecture and community events, adding another rich thread to the province's identity. The story of the prairies is told in many languages and cultures, each one adding its own flavor to the mosaic of Alberta life. No matter where you go, you find diverse communities, newcomers and longtime residents alike, building a home, sharing traditions, and shaping the future together. Alberta is a land of striking contrasts: prairie, badlands, and mountains, all woven together into a single, breathtaking panorama that never fails to inspire awe. The province's beauty and history are unforgettable, leaving a lasting impression on everyone who visits or calls it home. Here, the West feels both wild and welcoming, a place where cowboy traditions meet modern hospitality, and every small town has a story to share. Alberta showed me that the prairies are always changing, always inviting, each season bringing new colors, new faces, and new opportunities to connect. It's a place where anyone, from any background, can find their place and become part of the ever-evolving story of the Canadian West. Alberta's energy is everywhere, in its cities and its people. Calgary is bold and entrepreneurial, famous for the Stampede and a thriving tech and arts scene. Edmonton, the capital, is Festival City, alive with music, theater, and diverse neighborhoods. The economy is diversifying. Renewable energy, agriculture, tech, and film are all growing. There's a sense of possibility here. If you work hard, you can succeed. Both cities are multicultural, with people from around the world. This diversity is reflected in food, festivals, and community life. Alberta's cities are engines of opportunity and inclusion. Here, newcomers find a place to belong and thrive. The future feels wide open. As I traveled from Manitoba's lakes to Alberta's mountains, I stopped feeling like an outsider. The prairies are one interconnected region, bound by shared history, agriculture, and a welcoming spirit. The open spaces that once felt empty became places of peace and possibility. Community here is strong, whether in small towns or big cities. Belonging is built through everyday moments, sharing coffee, volunteering, cheering for the local team. I grew proud of the prairies, defending their winters and boasting about their sunsets. This journey taught me resilience and the meaning of home. The prairies gave me space to imagine a new future. I found not just opportunity, but a place to belong. That's my story, a newcomer who found home in the heart of Canada. I've shared the beauty, diversity, and opportunity of the prairies. But the real magic is something you have to experience yourself. The prairies offer more than economic opportunity. They offer connection, community, and a chance to make a difference. If you're seeking a new beginning, look to the heartland. Come with an open mind and a spirit of adventure. Here, you can build a life and put down roots. The prairies are waiting for your story. Come and discover the living skies, the friendly people, and your own place in this mosaic. Your new chapter is ready to be written.